So that's our topic. The other day we looked at what we call setting off. That's why we started our calculations. That is what we looked at, setting of stock level. And setting of stock level, we looked at these key areas. We looked at maximum stock level. We looked at minimum stock level. We looked at reorder level. We looked at number of orders, which we are also going to cover here extensively today. Then we also looked at average stock, average stock level. Those are some of the concepts that we covered in our previous session. So now, having looked at this, you are able to solve a question, and that question was tested in which sitting? April 2022, question number 2B. If you move to December 2022 or August 2022, that question was not tested. If you move to April 2023, the question was not tested. Instead, they tested you on what we call economic order quantity, which we are going to measure on today. So, as we prepare ourselves for the next sitting, these are some of the things that you need to put in place. These are some of the things that you need to put in place because you will really need them as you prepare for your exams. I think I've been giving you an hint on what to do, on what to put or to give priority. So this area here, please, as you do your revision, as you do your discussion, ensure that you have knowledge related to this particular area. So if you look at what I've just shared with you, I believe you are able to access it somewhere there. I believe you are able to access it. Just confirm so that as we do that particular question, we will be able to understand what is going on. Please confirm to me that you are able to see or you've received what I've just shared with you in the WhatsApp group. Confirm. As I look for my calculator here. Confirm that you are able to, or you've received that. So if you look at that particular question, it is covering what we did the other day. It is covering what we did. It is covering what we did the other day. You are being tested on how to get the maximum stock level, minimum stock level, and then the reorder quantity. The reorder quantity, the average stock level. I think the only thing that we did not look at, but is still within the area that we are discussing, is the number of orders. Number of orders is what we are going to look at, as well as we are going to move to concept number 6. The economic order quantity will help us to get this concept of number of orders. Now, as you look at that question, together, I want us to first of all start with the reorder level, because for you to get the maximum stock level, we need the reorder level. For you to get the minimum stock level, we need the reorder level. And therefore, we are going to start doing our workings from this area. We want to get the reorder level. That will be our initial point. So the first thing here is the reorder level. How do we calculate reorder level, which we normally call this? How do we calculate reorder level based on our previous discussion? How do we calculate reorder level? It is maximum consumption times maximum reorder period. It is maximum consumption. It is maximum consumption times maximum reorder. Times maximum reorder period. That is maximum lead time, the time you take between placing an order and the time that you receive the goods into your premises. That is what we call the reorder level. So based on the information that we have there, are we able to get the maximum consumption? Are we able to get the minimum consumption? Are we able to get the maximum reorder period? So we have the information there given from the month of January to December. We have additional information that is minimum reorder period is 3 months. Average reorder period is 4 months. Maximum reorder period is 5 months. Then we have purchase cost per unit. Of course, that one will be applied when you're going to solve the last part of the economic order quantity. Now, we have been able to see, even if they don't give you, remember this person has given you an hint on what to do, but you know very well, the order, the maximum consumption here, we basically come to the column of demand and look at the highest quantity. It will give us the maximum consumption. So what do we have as the maximum consumption? Let me see if people are even able to see, or do they even have this document with them? What is our maximum consumption in terms of units? Maximum consumption in terms of units. So somebody is giving me 80,000. Lillian, maximum, the highest. Maximum is the highest. It is 280,000. So when I take 280,000 and I multiply, when I take 280,000, then I multiply by maximum reorder period. Maximum reorder period have been given in additional information number 3 as 5. What will I have as the reorder level? What will I have as the reorder level? The reorder level, I'm being told it is 1,400,000. That is what Keller is telling me. Another person to confirm. Another person to confirm. Another person to confirm. So minimum stock level. Minimum stock level is equivalent to minimum stock level. Minimum stock level is equivalent to minimum stock level. Minimum stock level is equivalent to reorder level minus normal consumption times normal lead time. It is equivalent to reorder level minus minimum consumption times normal lead time. Normal consumption, sorry, it is normal consumption times normal lead time. And in our previous discussion, we said, if we are not given these figures here directly, the normal consumption, we basically take maximum, add to minimum, then you divide by 2. In short, we are getting the average. Then also the normal lead time, if you're not given a specific item that this is the normal lead time, then we take what? We take the maximum or the highest lead time, divide by the lowest, and then, sorry, you add to the lowest, then you divide by 2. What are we doing there? We are basically getting the average of the 2. If you are given a term that the average lead time is this number of days or months, then automatically that is the normal lead time, that average that average becomes our normal lead time. So the normal consumption, are we able to get the normal consumption? The normal consumption, do we have a specific thing there in the name of normal consumption? We don't have it in the additional information. So what are we going to do? The normal consumption, we are going to take the highest, which is 280. We add to 80,000. Then that we divide by 2. What we are going to get there, we multiply by normal lead time or the average lead time. The average lead time or the average reorder period, the average reorder period we are given in additional information number 2 as 4. So are we able to get now this figure? 280 plus 80 will give us 360. Divide by 2, we are going to have 180,000. 180,000 if I multiply. 180,000 if I multiply should give me by 4. This one here, divide by this, then multiply by 4. What are we getting? I'm being told we have 720,000 units. That is the minimum stock level. Then I move to the third one. That is, when I move to the third one, I'm going to use maximum stock level. Maximum stock level is equivalent. Maximum stock level is equivalent to maximum. Maximum stock level is equivalent to minimum consumption times minimum lead time. Minimum consumption times minimum consumption times minimum lead time. Then we add reorder quantity. Oh, there's something here. There's something here which we are leaving. 1,400,000. Thank you. This one here is 1,400,000. Then we subtract all these workings here. So what are we going to have? It should be 680,000. Okay, so when you come to this part here, you're going to have reorder level minus minimum consumption multiply by minimum lead time. Then we add reorder quantity. Add reorder quantity. What is our minimum consumption? Of course, reorder level, we have 1,400,000 minus minimum consumption. Minimum consumption there, we have 80,000. We multiply by minimum lead time. Minimum lead time is the minimum reorder period. Minimum reorder period is equivalent to 3. Then we add reorder quantity. We add reorder quantity. Minimum reorder quantity or the multiply by reorder quantity. So look for this figure here, and then I want to see your answers before. Okay, so what are we getting? 80 by 30, that is 240. Then we add something here, reorder quantity. So are we able to identify reorder quantity? The quantity that they take at any given time. They're going to take an order. The company has been ordering 5,000 units per order. So that additional information number 6 has got the information which we are looking for, the reorder quantity, any given time. And remember, I told you that this reorder quantity, if it is not given, and then you have information of that kind, this reorder quantity in some questions, they will not give you this. So from today, we all know that reorder quantity can be used in place of economic order quantity. If there's a question whereby they have not used this term, you are not able to see on how to get this, but you have economic order quantity somewhere, then that is what you use in this particular area. And therefore, it gives us what we call 5,000. Now, this one will be 240,000 plus 5, 245,000. When we subtract it from this, what are we getting? When we subtract it from that, what are we getting? What are we getting now? Yes, 1165,000 units. $1165,000 units. So that is what you are expected to do in that particular area. They want us to go ahead. They want us to go ahead and get this item here. We are required to get average stock. Average stock. Average stock is basically equivalent to maximum stock level plus minimum stock level. Whatever you get there, you divide by 2. Do we have that? Maximum stock level, we have maximum here, 11. We add to minimum. Then we divide by 2. So I expect my good students to show me that. 1165 plus 680, they divide by 2. What are they getting? What are they getting? 1165,000 divide or add to 680,000. Yes, Elijah is telling me that I should have it as 922,500. That is what I'm being told by Elijah. So someone to confirm to me. Someone to confirm to me if that is the answer. Someone to confirm to me if that's the answer. Okay, so that's it. That is it. That's our answer for that particular question. Of course, we have other parts where you are required to get the number of orders. You are required to get the economic order quantity. So our area of concentration today, our main area of discussion today is going to be the economic order quantity. When you talk about economic order quantity, this is the number of units that we should order at any given time. This is the number of units that we should order at any given time so that we don't incur higher cost of maintaining these goods in our premises. And also, we don't miss business in the name of not having sufficient stock. So those 2 factors must be considered. If you bring less stock, you're going to lose customers. You're going to lose or reduce the number of sales because you don't have sufficient goods to meet the demand. If I bring excess, I will have to incur higher storage cost, higher transportation cost, higher carrying cost, so that I do what? So that I take care of these goods. So to balance the two, then we are supposed to come up with the concept of economic order quantity, whereby we bring those 2 factors together. We bring the demand in place, we bring the cost of taking care of these goods. If I merge those 2, then I will be able to arrive at a balancing point. I will be able to arrive at a balancing point whereby the units ordered will not be less, the amount incurred will not be high. The operating cost or cost that we incur to take care of these goods from the time we order them to the time we sell them to the final customer, we should be able to minimize those costs. So bringing the 2, bringing demand from the market side, bringing in the cost of taking care of these goods as they are still in our premises, waiting for the demand or waiting for the final user to come for them. Then merging those two will make us to arrive at a central point. So that central point is what we call, in other words, as economic order quantity. That's what we call as economic order quantity. So now this economic order quantity has got some assumptions. What is this concept? What are the assumptions that we put in place so that we apply the concept of economic order quantity? That is what I want us to look at. Of course, the assumptions, we are going to have them in the notes, but I can just read them out for you to be able to see. So one of the items, one of the assumptions of economic order quantity is that demand is constant throughout the year. The demand is constant throughout the year. If it is 50,000 units, it remains 50,000 units throughout the year. It will not change within that specific period. If you look at it very well, you'll also be able to see that the carrying cost is constant. It does not change. The carrying cost is constant throughout the year. The carrying cost is constant throughout the year. The ordering cost, the amount that I incur to transport goods that I've purchased from the supplier to my premises, is going to be constant. It does not change. The purchasing price of these goods, when I go to the supplier, I'm going to pay them some amount so that they give me the goods, so that I change the ownership of these goods from the supplier to the ownership of the company. So that amount which I pay, if you are going to buy this marker pen, you will give the seller, let's say 100 shillings, and then they give you this marker pen. So that 100 shillings is what we call the purchasing price. It remains constant throughout the year. The amount that I'm going to incur to take this marker pen from the supplier to my premise is what I call the ordering cost. Is what I call the ordering cost. Then I will now, having brought this marker pen to my premises, I have to put them in the store to take care of them until I resell them. The storing cost, the warehousing costs that I'm going to incur, the amount I'm going to pay people who are going to take care of these items or this marker pen until I sell it to the final consumer, is what I call the holding cost. Is what I call the holding cost. So it means for me to get the total cost of taking care of this product, I must look at the purchasing price. That is number one. I must look at the ordering cost. That is number two. I must look at the storing cost, the holding cost, the carrying cost should also be included there. So it means the total cost of taking care of these goods are divided into three. Getting the summation of the three will give me the total cost of having these goods from the supplier up to the final consumer. So that is the entire concept of economic order quantity. So I think within that, if you have the formula, you don't even need to cram the assumptions. You don't need to master the assumptions. Once you know the formula, all those assumptions are reflected in that particular formula. So that's what you want to look at. That is what you want to look at. And of course, we are going to use this same question. I think you've been able to see there's the portion of economic order quantity that is remaining. There's the portion of number of orders that is also remaining. So let's see what this economic order quantity entails. So that is what you want to look at. I think I've been giving you the background of that. So this economic order quantity, we are going to look at it when you only have one particular product. We don't have range. We don't have different prices. But then there are some people who buy goods in bulk, that is bulk purchases. So for bulk purchases, you can also be given a discount on the purchasing price. And therefore, because we have a discount, we have different levels, we have different ranges, we are going to have also different economic order quantities at any given range. So for at this level, when you're going to do your management accounting paper, if you're going to do your ATD, that is fundamentals of management accounting, expect the examiner not to give you a simple thing. Expect them to give you an interval of several economic order quantities. And then from there, you will be asked to give the total cost of each level and then advise the company properly that at what range should we purchase our goods. Are you going to look at the discount and forget that this discount will affect our total cost? Are we those people who are only concentrating on the discount, that the discount amount is very high? Let's say you are given a discount of 10%, but are you able to look at the implication of this discount? Remember, if the discount is 10%, you're going to purchase in bulk, and that bulk purchase will affect your total cost of carrying or the total cost you incur to take care of these goods. So if you look at those costs and the discount that you're going to have, are you saving something or you are going beyond the amount that you're supposed to spend? Such factors are going to be considered when they set that particular concept. So for us to get the economic order quantity as a formula, the economic order quantity is equivalent to square root of 2 DCO over HC. And I've said very well that this D stands for demand, annual demand. Then if it's given for the entire year, this CO stands for ordering costs. And then we have HC, which stands for, holding costs. So some of you may go to the exam room and find that the term or the word holding cost is not given in any question, but instead the examiner has used what we call carrying cost. So you have carrying cost, you have ordering cost, you have purchasing price, but then you are being asked to do what? To get economic order quantity. So in the place or in a question whereby this term here, holding cost, is not given, just look for this other term called carrying. Look for this other term called carrying cost. These two mean the same thing. So if you find carrying cost, you are referring to holding cost or HC. If you find carrying cost, it is still representing this HC. So this carrying cost or holding cost is the amount you're going to incur to have these goods until you sell them to the final user. Ordering cost, it is the amount you are going to incur to bring the goods from the supplier to your premises. If you are doing manufacturing and you are going to purchase raw materials, maybe in the FA, you are going to call it carriage inward. I think that one will make sense. We call it carriage inward. But then now, if you come to management accounting, we are giving it a new name called ordering cost. So that is the name. Demand is the annual consumption. If in the exams, you are not given the term demand, but you are told annual consumption or annual usage is this number of units. Basically, they are referring to demand. They are referring to demand. So that is what I am referring to. If you want to get the total cost, I've said, if you want to get the total cost, now that we have the formula of economic order quantity, if you want to get the total cost, you are going to have three components. I've said this total cost entails purchase cost, purchasing costs. We are going to add that to what we call total holding costs. We are going to add that to total carrying or ordering costs. For us to get ordering cost, we are going to look for number of orders. Can the examiner ask for the definition of economic order quantity? So the definition of economic order quantity, of course, they can ask you that, but that is very simple. They are going to ask you the assumption. They are going to ask you on application of the formula, the quantitative part of it. But then economic order quantity, if you are being asked about the definition, this is the quantity, this is the central quantity that considers the cost to be incurred so that you don't overstock, and the units that you are going to have so that you don't have deficit at any given time, the customer's request for your product. That is it, as simple as such. So you are going to be asked about the assumptions which you need to know. We are not going to bargain about that. The assumptions must be at your fingertips. And then now we come to the application of the formula here. So when you talk about ordering cost, for us to get ordering cost, you must look at the amount you are going to spend in making one order, then you multiply by the number of orders. So it means for us to calculate the total ordering cost, the cost per order, we have it here. This is the cost per order. So whatever we are lacking is that the number of orders, which you are being asked in the other, the other question. So once we have the number of orders, we'll be able to get the total, ordering cost. Then this holding cost is now the amount we are going to incur to store these goods in our premises, the holding cost, and therefore it is dependent in the number of units that you have in your store. It is dependent in the number of units that you have in your store. But ordering cost is dependent on the number of orders you are going to make. Purchasing cost is dependent on the number of units you are going to purchase. It is dependent on the number of units you are going to purchase. It is dependent on the demand. And that's why when you're going to get the purchasing cost, when you're going to calculate the purchasing cost, we simply take demand, we multiply by purchase price. So you're going to get D multiplied by P. That is the formula. If you want to get the holding cost, we are going to get holding cost per unit. We multiply by the units that are purchased. Sorry, you multiply by the units that you have in your premises. For us to get the units that you have in your premises, we are going to have economic order quantity. We divide by 2, then we multiply by holding cost. That is the total holding costs. When you want to get now the ordering cost, remember I said for us to get the total ordering cost, we'll take number of orders, then you multiply by cost per order. So the number of orders multiplied by cost per order, we are going to have demand over economic order quantity, then we multiply by ordering cost. Why am I? Please tilt the camera. I can't see the far east side. Let me see. So as you can see, I keep on emphasizing on the number of orders times cost of making one order. I have a reason for that. I have a reason for doing that. The reason why I keep on taking to the number of orders, because you can easily get it once you have the economic order quantity. Now, This cost here, this part here, this is the cost per order, which means this portion represents the number of orders. So if you look at the other question which you are doing, which we've not completed because of this remaining portion, we were required to do what? To get the number of orders. So as we now move forward, you should be able to get the number of orders once you have your economic order quantity. So number of orders, write it somewhere because I know majority will forget that. Number of orders is equal to demand over economic order quantity. This one here gives us the number of orders, and that's why we multiply by cost per order to get the total ordering cost. That is what we need to have in place. That is what we need to have in place. So before we move forward, before we look at any other thing, are we together? Are we together? Are we getting something? Have we learned something? Are we better than when we joined the class? So having seen that, why are we bringing in the total cost concept? Why are we bringing in the total cost concept? Remember, you are looking at two things: the amount we are going to incur to store goods in our premises and the risk of losing business because we don't have sufficient stock. Now, the reason why we are bringing in the total cost concept, there are some suppliers, there are some wholesalers that when you go to buy goods in bulk, the bulk purchases concept. When you now go to buy goods in bulk, they are going to give you the price discount. They tell you that the first 100 units, there is no discount. The next 100, there will be a discount of 5 shillings per unit. The next 100, which means they expect you to buy at any time you're going to purchase, the next 100 now will be the first 300 units. So the first 300 units, 100, there is no discount. 100 with the discount of 5 shillings. And then the last batch of 100, you're going to be given a discount of 8 shillings per unit. That is their selling strategy. When they give you discount, you're going to purchase in bulk. But then they are looking at the final effect, the number of units they are going to sell at the end of the period, the frequency at which they are going to sell their products and request for restocking. If we now come at this point, how is that a problem to us? How is that a factor to be considered to this particular company? For economic order quantity, you are able to see that we have this cost, ordering cost, we have holding cost. So for examiner to test you on that particular area to see the effect, they are going to peg this one here to be dependent on the purchase price. It is going to be dependent on the purchase price. So they tell you that the holding cost is 20% of the purchase price. So anytime the purchase price is 10, our holding cost is 20% of 10, which is 2. When the purchase price is now lowered because you are going to buy in bulk and the price has been reduced, then we are going to have a price of 8. What will be our holding cost? 2% of 8. It will be 2% of 8, which means you are going to have 1. You are going to have 1.6. So the moment holding cost changes, this is the purchase price. The moment holding cost changes, we don't expect to have the same economic order quantity. Is it? Remember, our economic order quantity, of course, demand will be constant as per the assumptions of this particular concept. So when you look at the ordering cost per unit, it will be constant. So what does the examiner do? They just twist this. They keep on changing the holding cost. They peg it on the purchase price. Whereby if you buy this number of units, the purchase price is 10. You get holding cost of 20% on the purchase price. So your holding cost will be 2. That is the only thing that is changing. You get your economic order quantity. If you increase the quantity, they are telling you that the purchase price now is 8. But remember, our holding cost is pegged on the purchase price. That is 20% of the purchase price, 1.6. The moment I change this holding cost from 2 to 1.6, I don't expect this figure to remain constant. I don't expect that figure to remain constant. So that is what they are going to test you on. This concept was tested in April 2022. It was also tested in December 2022, the bulk purchases. But now, when you come to April, they did not bring in the bulk. They tested a very simple thing, a straightforward question, just this portion. No purchase or no purchases discount, no sales discount. It was not given there for the bulk purchases of the range. They just tested a very simple thing of about 4 marks. This April sitting, if they have to test the concept of economic order quantity, they are going to give you the price range, the bulk purchases. You're going to have the quantities here, and the purchases price are going to change based on the number of quantity. As the quantity increases, the purchase price reduces. They're going to give you discount. And what do? They also peg the holding cost on the purchase price. And then you are being asked to advise the company on the quantity that they should purchase. When this one changes here, when this holding cost changes, because it is pegged on the purchase price, then we are going to which direction? The total cost. We get the purchase cost, we add to holding cost, we add to ordering cost for range A. We go to range B, we do the same. Range C, range D, range E, we do the same. Then, at the end of the day, we look at it. As a company, anytime we are going to have an opportunity to reduce our operating expenses, that will be good for us. So the company will be looking for an opportunity whereby if they order a given number of goods, they are going to spend the lowest total cost. So that lowest total cost in this range from A to E, which we have been talking about here, they pick that range which gives them the lowest total cost. So that's what you do to advise the company, and then you get your 8 marks for that particular range. Sometimes they give it to 8, but then they have even adjust it to 10 based on the number of questions in that particular area. So that is all about economic order quantity. That is all about economic order quantity and the total cost. So I want us to start from the simplest part of that particular concept, which was given to us actually in the last sitting of April. They gave you a very simple question. The only thing they were doing, they twisted. They tell you that these people want to order, but for us to know, before we know what they want to order, they are also manufacturing. So they are ordering raw material. They are not giving us the number of raw material, the demand for the entire year. They are not giving us directly, no. What are they doing? First of all, they are telling us that these people managed to produce this number of products. That's their final product. And then they tell you that for them to produce that product, they demand quantity X of their raw material. From that particular point, you'll be able to get the demand of this raw material for the entire year. Once you get the demand of the raw material, you are going to be given the holding cost, you are going to be given the ordering cost, and then you now calculate for us economic order quantity. You calculate for us economic order quantity. To that effect, let's move to April. Let's move to April 2023. Let's move to April 2023. Question number, is it number 3? April 2023. April 2023, question number 3. I think it's number 3C. April 2023, let me look at it. April 2023. April 2023. We have an interesting question there. April 2023, question number 1C. April 2023, question number 1C. I want us to see how these examiners do not set difficult questions. They do not set anything out the side there, the syllabus. They give you everything. They just follow the syllabus. So let me retain the formula there for benefit of majority of us. So that is what we have. I want us to interpret the question together. We are being told, actually we are doing April 2023, question number 1C. April 2023, question number 1C. So we are being told that Digital Television Limited manufactures digital televisions. So that's their product. They are manufacturing digital television. So they are not purchasing. But then if they're going to do purchases, they are going to purchase raw material, which they use to do what? To manufacture the digital television. The main component used in making digital television is the fluorescent bulbs. So what is their raw material? The raw material they are purchasing, raw material is called fluorescent bulbs. Finished product, finished product is now what we call the digital television. That is the finished product. So if you're going to look at, remember, under economic order quantity, we said what they are going to order for them not to incur a lot of cost. So whatever they are going to order is the fluorescent bulbs, which is the raw material used in manufacturing digital televisions. Now, there's a concept which you're going to look at a later stage, whereby it almost looks similar to this. This one is taking the side of what they are purchasing. But what if they are going to manufacture? If they manufacture one unit, they are not able to recover. They are not able to recover the fixed costs. Just okay, so I think we can proceed. So if you look at that question, if you're going to look at this other concept of considering what they are going to produce, remember we have fixed costs that the company will be incurring. Even if they produce 1 unit or 10, the fixed cost will not change. So for them to take care of the fixed cost, they will also be having a strategy of maximizing the units they are going to produce so that they're able to reduce the fixed cost per unit of output. That is okay. But then what if you produce more goods, more than what the market demands? What will be the next problem? These goods here will be staying in your premises for a longer time. Some of them will be destroyed. Some of them will be stolen. Some of them will be below the technology and therefore they will not sell. So what will happen? You're also going to make losses because your products have become obsolete and they cannot be sold. They cannot compete within the current technology. So for us to take care of those two factors so that we can harmonize them and operate at a central point, then the company applies a concept called economic batch quantity. Are they able to produce in batches? Are they able to produce in batches so that they minimize the cost per unit of output? That one is only applied on the product that these people are producing, not what they are purchasing. What they are producing. So anytime you're going to use the finished product, that is digital television, as your quantity, it means you have moved away from economic order quantity to what we call economic batch quantity. For us to remain relevant with respect to what was required of you in this particular question, we are going to deal with the raw materials. The fluorescent bulbs is what they are purchasing. And for them to know what they're supposed to purchase, the economic order quantity, not to have minimum units of output, not to have excess, then they have to apply the economic order quantity on the raw material they are going to purchase. So by just giving you that explanation, I believe we are able to identify all the elements that are required. So we have this one here. For each digital television manufactured, 12 bulbs are required. So one television is equal to 12 bulbs. In that particular year, how many televisions did they manufacture so that we know the number of bulbs they demanded? What are we looking for? Total demand, because we have to get this D to solve this particular question. So for us to get the demand for the entire year, we must know what they demanded. And what are they demanding? The bulbs, the fluorescent bulbs, not the television. So the examiner knows it very well that many people will be concentrating on the units of television as their D. Remember, television is what they produce, not what they need, not their raw material. So demand here is for the raw material. So let me get your inputs. What do we have? We are told that one television needs 12 bulbs. Then the company manufactures 15,000 digital televisions per year. How many televisions were manufactured? 15,000 televisions were manufactured in that particular year, which means we now need to know the number of bulbs that were demanded. We now need to know the number of bulbs that were demanded. So we are going to have our 150,000. We multiply by 12. What is the letter D? Remember, we are looking for demand. So D is equivalent to 180,000 bulbs. That is what they are demanding. Now, if we have letter D, we are still lacking ordering cost. We are still lacking holding cost. So what have we been told here? It costs shillings 200 each time the bulbs are ordered. It costs 200 shillings each time the bulbs are ordered. So the cost of one order, the ordering cost, the cost of making one order is equivalent to 200 shillings. Then the carrying costs are shillings 8 per bulb per year. The carrying cost is the amount incurred to take care of these bulbs until they are used. That cost, that carrying cost, is equivalent to 8 shillings per month or per bulb per annum. That carrying cost, remember I said in our formula we have HC, that this HC, this holding cost is the same as carrying cost, and therefore that HC is equivalent to 8. So we have D down there, we have CO, it is here, we have HC, it is here. So can somebody just get me the value of economic order quantity? Economic order quantity will be the square root of the 2 multiplied by demand, multiplied by ordering cost per unit. Everything there we divide by 8, and then we get the square root. So I expect my good students to get me that. Economic order quantity. Economic order quantity. Economic order quantity, what are we having? So our economic order quantity is equivalent to 3,000. That is our economic order quantity. That is our economic order quantity. Now that we have that in place, are we able to proceed? Calculate the number of times per year the bulb will be ordered, assuming 360 days in a year. Calculate the number of times. Basically, the examiner did not want to give you this question directly. They want you to get the number of orders. Are we able to get the number of orders? Are we able to get the number of orders? The economic order quantity. The economic order quantity is equivalent to 3,000. How do we get number of orders? How do we get number of orders? So number of orders. Number of orders, I've just said it some minutes ago. Number of orders, we must first of all get demand, which we already have. And then we divide by economic order quantity of 3,000. So it is equal to demand over economic order quantity. If we divide this, what are we getting? What are we getting? What are we getting? We are having 60. We are having 60 orders. That's the number of orders they are going to make in that particular year. But then the total number of days in that particular year is equivalent to 360. So how many times are they going to make the orders? We have the total number of days in a year, and then we have 60 orders they are going to make. So how many times will they make these orders? How many times? How many times are they going to make these orders? How many times are they going to make these orders? How many times? 6 times. So that is what you are required to do in that particular section, and you just have your free 6 marks. That is what you are required to do in that particular section. That is what you are required to do in that particular section. So let's move to the other part you can now complete. The other part you can now complete. What I want us to do, maybe with this, you can say you are required to do what? To get the total cost, because you are not given the purchasing price per unit. We are not given the purchasing price per unit. If you are going to get the total cost is equal to demand times purchasing price plus economic order quantity. We divide by 2 to get that, then we multiply by HC. Then we add demand over economic order quantity to get number of orders. We multiply by ordering cost. So if the purchase price is not given, we assume that it is 0, and therefore demand times 0. A number times 0 will be 0. So we don't need to have this. If you are asked about total cost, you are not given purchasing price, then your total cost will be number of orders multiplied by ordering cost plus units that you have multiplied by carrying cost. So total cost is demand times price plus this one here. But if price is not given, we eliminate that section. We only remain with these 2. So maybe you can try getting the total cost from this particular question. The total cost, can we get it? Our total cost will be equivalent to economic order quantity of 3,000. We divide by 2. We multiply by holding cost, which is 8. Then we add demand, which is 180,000. We divide by 3,000, and then we multiply by ordering cost per unit, which is 200. My grade students should be able to give me this. This one will be 1,500 by 8. 1,500 by 8. Then you add 2. You add to 60 by 200. Someone should be able to indicate that answer there. Someone should be able to indicate that answer there as I look for. These are the questions. Somebody should be able. So we have 84 shillings. We have 84,000. We have 84,000. We have 84,000 shillings. That is the total cost. Now, if you look at December 2022, question number 1C. December 2022, question number 1C should be able to serve us very well. Should be able to serve us very well in that area. Then April, they tested this concept consecutively because 90% of the students, actually it is 95% fails in that question. So they are tested it consecutively. Still, this 95% did not reduce. It was still 9. Actually, it increased to 96% now. Those who failed in that particular question. That is why it was repeated. And this sitting that we are now going to, this semester, if this question appears there, this number will increase to 97%. Those will be failing in that particular concept. And I know very well that those who are in this particular meeting will not be among the 97%, but will be in the 3%. We are going to get this question right. So I think you can just indicate those sittings, then you create time. You can just indicate those sittings, you create time to do that. So look at December 2022. Question number 1C. Question number 1C. If I look at August, they did not test that. Okay, later in which sitting here? April 2022. April 2022. Question number 3B. And then, do we have anything in December? So December 2021, question number 1A. It was tested there. If I move forward to which sitting? That's another concept. Let's look at this one here. We have this. Yes, the pilot paper has got something there. September 2021. Question. This one tells you that this question will not easily miss in your exam. So that sitting, question number 3B. Then when we look at May, is there anything about it? May, do we have something there? I think that's enough for now. You can just look at that. as we'll be also looking at other concepts there or other questions, then you go through them. My main point of interest will be, let me see if this December will consume a lot of time. I think so. The December one, okay. So I want you to create time, that December sitting, this one here, 2022. This one should be your assignment. We are going to do April 2022. The same concept. Whatever they did is just change the figures. They just change the figures and left you to struggle with the remaining part. So let's look at April. Let's look at April. Let's look at April. April 2022, question number 3B. The following information is provided. So we are looking at April 2022, question number 3B. The following information is provided in relation to Baridi Co. Limited. The annual demand of its product branded D, its shillings, 30,000 units. Remember I said demand is constant. One of the assumptions of economic order quantity, demand is constant. So they are justifying that by telling us that D there is equal to 30,000. And then the ordering cost per order is shillings 2,500, which we also said is constant. Just have them listed down like that. You'll be able to see that this is the simplest question. The holding cost is expressed as a percentage of purchase price at 20%. By just doing that, anytime the purchase price reduces due to quantity discount, then our holding cost changes. If that is done, when holding cost changes, fluctuates, we are going to have every range will have its own new economic order quantity. Very important. So our holding cost is equal to 20% of purchase price. We have to put that in place. We have to make that clear to everyone. We have to make that clear to everyone. Okay. Then you are being told, they give you the range, the quantity, and the purchase price. What else do they have? Advise the company on the quantities to purchase. The moment you see that, they want you to get the total cost of each range. And then from there, you will be able to advise these people to pick the lowest total cost range. We have to get the economic order quantity. So we have range 1, we have range 2, we have range 3, we have range 4, we have range 5. So let's first of all get economic order. Economic order quantity is equal to square root of 2 demand times carrying cost over times ordering cost over holding cost. The first one, how are we going to have our economic order quantity? We are going to have 2 times demand, which will not change, times ordering cost of 2,500. Then we divide by carrying cost. Carrying cost, 20% of purchase price. So in the first range, what is the purchase price? Purchase price is 21,000. Sorry, 21. So what is 20% of 21? 20% of 21, people will be letting me down here. Let me have this calculator. Can't find the question. April 2022. Question number 3B. For management accounting paper, the 68 pages document. If you're in our paid group, the 68 pages document has got that question. Which page? Go to page 10. Page 10 of that document will help you to find the question. So we have 21, that is the purchase price. And we said holding cost is pegged on the purchase price. So what do you need to do? Get 20% of that purchase price, 20% of 21. That is 20% or 0.2 of 21. You will get a figure. That figure, get the square root of everything. Then you'll be able to get your economic order quantities here. Let me get mine as I wait for what you are going to post there. Let me get mine. Let me get mine as I wait for what you are going to post there. Let me get mine. 2 times 30,000 times 2,500. Then I divide that by 0.2 by 21. So we can put it to the nearest whole number, which is 50. Okay. I think that is the holding cost you are getting. 0.2 by 21 is 4.2. I want the solution for the entire item. What are you getting? What are you getting here? I'm able to get 5976. This second one, I'm going to have 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 0.2 times purchase price of the second band. The second band, yes, we are going to round off. I can see people are doing the right thing. So the second band, we have a purchase price of 19 shillings. So just go to your figure, change 21 to 19. And then confirm to me that you are going to get, or you are getting 6283. So that is the economic order quantity. Then I move to band 3. I'm going to have 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 0.2 times the third one. I'm having 17. So it is 0.2 of 17. 0.2 of 17. I'm having 6642. Then my fourth band is having a price of 15.5. My second band is having a price of 15.5. It tells me over 0.2 times 15.5. When I do that, I'm getting 69.56. And I believe everyone is getting that. Yes, I can see. When I move to the last one, I'm having 2 times 30,000 times 2,500 over 0.2. And then I think the last band, I have 13. So when I have 13 shillings at the purchase price, I need to get 20% of this to be able to get this HC. If I do that, what are we getting? What are we getting? I don't want to post the last one until I see your response for that last one. Until I see your response. What is the figure here? Economic order quantity. Economic order quantity. Economic order quantity. Economic order quantity. 7596. Okay, that's good. So remember, we add a range. We add a range. Let me just insert that range here, or units. So we have units here. That is 1 to 3,000. Then this one here will be 3,001. to 5,000. Then this one here will be 5,001 to 7,000. And then this one here will be 7,001 to 9,000. And then this one here will be 9,001 to 10,000. That is what we have. So remember, this one here is range 1, range 2, range 3, range 4, range 5. That is what we have. So we have identified our economic order quantity. For us to make decision, we must get this. For us to make decision, this is what we need to do. This is what we need to put in place. So of course that one we have used 20% of purchase price. So we have economic order quantity calculated there. Now we need to move to this other part, get our purchase price, total purchase cost. We need to get holding costs. We need to get ordering cost. And then we need to get total cost. From there, we will be able to make a good decision. We will be able to advise. Now, we want to advise based on this basis. We cannot order anything. We cannot order anything below the economic order quantity. We cannot order anything below the economic order quantity. So if the range, everything within the range is less than the economic order quantity, we are not going to accept that discount. We are going to forget about the discount. If our economic order quantity falls within the discount, if our economic order quantity falls within the discount, we are going to use our economic order quantity. Now, for example, this is what I have. This is what we are given for us to get price discount of 21 shillings. If I have economic order quantity of 59.76 and I must order 1 to 300 for me to buy at 21 shillings, I cannot accept this because this figure here, this range is below my economic order quantity. So what do? I don't need to calculate all this. I just indicate reject the discount. That is what you indicate. Of course, you will have a decent thing. You will have a table there. When I want to move to the second one, my economic order quantity is 62.83, but they want me to order for a product between 3,001 to 5,000 for me to be given a discount of 19 shillings per unit. So because this range here is below my economic order quantity and I cannot order anything below economic order quantity, what do? I do the same thing, reject the discount. I don't need to take time to calculate that. No, it is below my minimum, because if anytime I order goods below this, what am I going to do? I'm going to miss business. I'm not going to meet the demand. So that means I'm going to lose business. And therefore, I cannot order anything. Yes, I can order above, but I cannot order below the economic order quantity for batch purchases. So I therefore reject the discount. When I move to this part here, I look at the range. The range is 5,001 to 7,000. And my economic order quantity is 6642. My economic order quantity is 6642. So if it is 6642 and it is within this range, we are all able to see that it is found within this range. It is not below, it is not above the range. It is within this range. So what am I going to do? I am going to use this. I am going to use this as my economic order quantity. I'm going to use that as my economic order quantity. Why am I saying that? Why am I saying that? Check our policy, check our formula of getting total costs. Total cost is equal to demand times purchase price, which will give us this. Then we add holding cost, which is equivalent to economic order quantity, divide by 2, then I multiply by holding cost. What do I need for the ordering cost? It is demand over economic order quantity, then I multiply by ordering cost. So as you can see, the figure that I'm going to apply there is very important. Of course, demand will not change. Purchase price is going to change because it is being affected as we move downwards. Here it is 21, here it is 19, here it is 17, here it is 15.5, and then here is 13. How about this holding cost? It changes because at this first point it will be 20% of 21. At this point it will be 20% of 19. At this point it will be 20% of 17. It will keep on changing, and therefore I need to know that very well. So economic order quantity will also change because at this point we've rejected. We don't even need to calculate. At this point, I'm using this figure 6642 as my economic order quantity. So for me to get total cost for this area, I need to get purchase cost, I need to get holding cost, I need to get ordering cost, and then get the total. Now, let's first of all identify the economic order quantities that the units we are going to use here for economic order quantity. Let's come to this fourth range. My economic order quantity is 6956. But within this range, you cannot order that. You must order a minimum of 7,001. You must order a minimum of 7,001. But your economic order quantity indicates 6956. So what are you going to do? What are you going to do? For you to apply, for you to qualify for this discount here of 15.5, you must order a minimum of 7,001. But your economic order quantity is 6956. For you to calculate this total cost, are we going to use 6956 or 7,001? For you to calculate the total cost, which one are you going to use? For you to calculate the total cost, which one are we going to use? Which one? 7,001. Because for you to qualify for this discount, you must order at least 7,001. But your economic order quantity is this one here, as per the formula. Now, this is what is now bringing us to make you understand this. When the range was less than the economic order quantity here, we rejected the discount. We cannot order anything below the economic order quantity, but above is allowed. When we came to the second one, it was having the same. So that's why we rejected the second range. When we came to the third one, our economic order quantity was within the range, and therefore we are not going to take 5,001. No, let's just order our economic order quantity, because still we are going to have the 17 shillings discount. When I come to range 4, I have to buy 7,001 at least to get this discount, but my economic order quantity is 69.56, so I must order this. I'm allowed to order more than the economic order quantity. So as I'm going to calculate these costs, my EOQ in range 4 will not be this. It will not be that one. It will be 7,001. It will be 7,001. When I come to the last one, my economic order quantity is 75.96. But for me to get a discount, I must buy at least 9,001. So what am I going to do? Because this 9,001 is above the economic order quantity, and I only have one choice. You cannot order below the economic order quantity. You either order above or the exact economic order quantity. So what am I going to do? My economic order quantity will not be this, but it will be 9,001. So I think we've now seen that is above, that is below, and whatever is within. If you understand this concept, just expect your free 8 marks as you as you are going to sit for your exams. Expect those free 8 marks here if you handle all of this. So once you do that, that is the first stage. We now move forward to get purchasing cost, holding cost, ordering cost, which we are going to do at the highest speed possible. So let's start with purchasing cost. It is the units multiplied by, it is the demand multiplied by purchase price. Our demand has not changed. It is still 30,000. Don't confuse. The formula says that demand, constant. Ordering cost per unit, constant. Holding cost per unit is what is now fluctuating for us to get economic order quantity, because it is pegged on the purchase price, which is also fluctuating. So another person who is also keen and is able to identify what is going to happen, they don't just indicate this, they get the exact figure. So instead of having this, they have their 0.2 by 21, they get their 4.2. They have 0.2 by 19, they get their 3.8. They have this, they get their 3.4. They have this, they get their 3.1. They come here, they get their 2.6. Once I have all this, let me come to this section. It is now demand times, it is now demand times purchase price. It is now demand times purchase price. So let's come to demand, which will not change. It is 30,000. By purchase price, which is 21. The first one is 21. 630. Sorry, this one here, we are not going to apply this because this one here we rejected. So we don't need even to calculate it. We just come to this one here directly. So that one was 17 times 30,000, 510. I come to, from 17, I'm going to 15.5. $465,000. I come down here, I have 13 times 30,000. I will have 390,000. I'm done with purchase costs. I am done with purchase cost. I move to holding cost. What is my holding cost? Economic order quantity divided by 2 times holding cost per unit. And our holding cost, I've reflected them down here, exact figures. So what do we do? The first one, we come to this section. I will have my economic order quantity, which we said is now 66.42 divided by 2 times 3.4 will give me 11,2. We can have it to the nearest whole number, 11,291. I move to the next one. I will have my economic order quantity, 7,001 divided by 2 times this one here, 3.1. I believe we are also getting that. I believe all of us are getting that. Then I come to this last one here. My economic order quantity is 9,000. And when I divide by 2, multiply by 2.6. What am I getting? 11,701. I am moving to the ordering cost. It is demand over economic order quantity. Then I multiply by ordering cost. So my demand is 30,000. Then ordering cost is constant, it does not change. Then we are going to do that by dividing it by economic order quantity. So at this point, my economic order quantity is 66.42. I have 11,292. This other one is 7,000. 10, 713. Then 9,001. I have 83.32. That is what I have. Now, once I have that, get the total costs. So the total cost will be 11,701 plus 390. 390, that is 410. 410,033. I come here, 465,000 plus 10,852 plus 10,713. I have 486,565. Then I come to the last one, 510 plus 11,291 plus 11,292. I'm going to have 532,583. So we've reached that point whereby we want to advise. We want to advise the company. Remember, we advise based on the lowest. We advise based on the lowest cost of taking care of the goods. So if I have this, I'm going to spend 532 to maintain these goods when I purchase 66.42. When I purchase 7,001 as my economic order quantity, I'm going to spend 486. When I order 9,001, I'm going to spend only 410. So what do we tell the management? Advise, purchase. Purchase how many units? How many units should they purchase? How many units should they purchase? So they are going to advise them to purchase 9,001 because at that point, they are going to incur the lowest cost of 410,033. That is all you need to do in that area. So I said the other sitting, the December sitting is an assignment. Go and do it. Then we will discuss it in our next class.